Alright, hello everyone, and welcome to this week's episode of the Esports podcast. I'm your host, William, and I'm the only one here today. Brian has the flu, and Brock had some type of another medical issue type deal, so they had to get some blood work done. So that's it. It's just me. And with that, I guess we will just start right away. This week was a solid week. I went 8-2. Brock also went 8-2, and Brian went 7-3. It moved me up to 45-25 on the year. Brock is at 37-33, so he's finally above 500. And Brian is at 42-28, so I'm 3 games ahead of Brian. Sadly, however, I'm 2 games behind High, who also had an 8-2 week, and Mark Z, who had a nice 10-0 week. Good for him. Makes me upset. He has now tied me officially. This is actually. Oh no, this the last week was the first week I actually had a winning week. I've been in like second place the entire year. I just noticed that. Oh well. Hey, second place for the year, like almost near first place overall. That's consistently average is where you go. Alrighty. Sorry if I don't have as much prepared because I was expecting Brian and Brock here, but I'll get right into it. We'll do solo just like we do the LPL. It'll be good. First game was Golden Guardians versus CLG. I'm mad because Brian's not here, but Golden Guardians were victorious in this game. I thought they played super well on every asset of the game except for their macro. Their macro was just terrible. They were winning this game from very early on. They got definitely a kill right away. They had this Earth Drake, another kill, another tower, Earth Drake, kill, tower. Like they just were cleaning shop this entire game until about right here. They took the Baron in about 28 minutes, but while doing that, they gave up 2 towers. They gave up the bot side, second tier tower and inner tower and inhib tower for the Baron, which was a little bad. No one backed. It was very weird. Like you had Hansar and Kennen split pushing because after they took the Baron, they ran down here and took the inner mid tower, but they took it as 5, where they really could have took it as like even 3. They could have had 2 people back and they wouldn't have lost the inhib tower. And then again on this second part, right around. Oh, sorry, I'm a little tired. Right around here, they were fighting again, and CLG teleports into the base because they had no minion wave management on their bot lane. It was terrible. It was like so terrible by Golden Guardians that not only did CLG get both towers, they had 3 people, which again was really terrible by CLG at the same time for Auto on Ezreal and Darshan on Sion. They both teleported in here, where in reality they could have just let Power of Evil on the Rise just do his own thing, just take these towers and then just stop all the backs. This was playing around Baron. So if you had Power of Evil doing that, and Golden Guardians had all 5 I had 4 members here in Kennen. Kennen was not able to handle the Rise, which was an issue. And then you had all 4 members here. You just have Darshan and Auto stopping backs like here. CLG wins this game undeservedly, but they win. They win the game, and that's all that matters at the end of the day. They didn't. They tried to get 3 people over here to end the game quickly. It allowed Golden Guardians to back, who were obviously stronger than them because they'd been winning the whole game. They were able to win a quick team fight before they lost their Nexus, teleport in, and take the Nexus. It's a very sloppy game all around, and it wasn't. I'm disappointed in Golden Guardians, but I'm glad they still got the win. I think they are much better than CLG. I think CLG is one of the worst teams in the league, and I think that Golden Guardians is one of the better teams in the league. So by them getting in this position, it's kind of bad, but I think that still winning the game is okay. That's what you have to do after a poor start. Let me sit up a bit. Okay, here. Next, we had the game of the week with Team Liquid versus Cloud9. Wasn't that close again. I mean, it started out since Garen overcommitted in the mid lane against Jensen. He used his flash, missed his Q, or his second Q on the Aatrox, and just wasn't good all around. I really enjoyed the bans of Tahm Kench and Ezreal by Cloud9. I really appreciated that against Team Liquid because those are nearly unstoppable picks in the hands of Core JJ and Double. However, they were able to get a kill up top, but that was pretty much the only highlight for Svenskeren in this game. They immediately Licorice pushed far too up and got caught out, and Jace, impact on Jace was able to kill him. This game was close for a bit here, going back and forth until the Rift Herald fight. Team Liquid stole the Rift Herald, and by killing Svenskeren, and that set up a lot of Team Liquid's like macro that they're able to do, and all their team fighting. Team Liquid, if you make a mistake against them, they take the opportunity and they're going to beat you. Like, you cannot make many mistakes against Team Liquid. It's just not acceptable. And then they took this. And then here was the big play, I believe. Yeah, this was the big one where I'll show this later. This will be play of the game. I have to go get it because I thought Brock and them would be here. So I'll go find this play really quick, and this will be play of the game. I'll save that for that. But then pretty much after that, the game was pretty much over. Team Liquid had full control. They had the scaling on the Kai'Sa and Jensen on Orianna. Orianna is like the bane of C9's existence. Since CLG last summer split, they just were about to beat CLG, and they got hit by an Orianna ball by Hui of all people, like a 4-man Orianna ball right there. If you guys remember that game, that was pretty ugly. And since then, even I think Reaper made a joke about it in the pregame. I was watching their mic check and said, "Make sure to avoid the Orianna ball," and they were like all laughing about it. They didn't do that. It's just the bane of their existence, man. They don't know how to track that one, I guess. But yeah, it was a pretty solid win for Team Liquid. I really thought they could lose this game against C9, but like after watching the game, I'm confident that Team Liquid is the best team in the West now. I think that they are better than G2 even. And G2 would obviously be the closest team to them, but they're definitely the best team in NA, and I would argue that they're the best team in the West. 100 Thieves versus TSM. This game was way uglier than it should have been. I'm very disappointed in TSM. Not only were they losing this entire game, this is against 100 Thieves. Like, they gave up everything to 100 Thieves until they did it, because 100 Thieves macro is just one of the worst macros of like any team in all 5 major regions. It's really bad. They do not know how to play around major objectives like the Elder and the Baron. It's been a negative for them all this year. As you can see, they gave up the Elder here, they gave up the Baron, and then they gave up the game. Because they gave a bunch of inhibs, all of a sudden they're on their back foot for the first time in 45 minutes. This is a 45-minute game at this point where 100 Thieves was winning the whole time. They had complete control of this game. They should have absolutely won this game. You had Bang on Sivir, so you have super late game scaling. You have Someday on Aatrox, so he's doing a lot of stuff in the... Sorry, I keep yawning. I am just really... I didn't get much sleep last night. I'm on like 3 hours sleep. You have Syndra in the mid lane, and you had Bjergsen on the... You had Sven on the Ezreal, who does scale much better than he used to with the double tier. He didn't build double... Oh, no, he did. He did. Okay, never mind. He did build double tier, which is important. So he was scaling really well. But you still had... I think Sivir's a much better, like, 50-minute... There's no ADC, maybe outside of Jinx, it's a better 50-minute, and maybe Vayne. 50-minute ADC than Sivir. Not even Vayne, actually. I would say Sivir's probably better than Vayne at 50 minutes because of the just absurd amount of wave clear she can do. And I just... it's their macro. It's their shot calling and their macro. It's just terrible on 100 Thieves, and it's why they're last place this year. I really think, honestly, I know I'm going to be on like a Reddit bandwagon here. Aftermoon needs to go. I'm sorry. He has to. Soligo actually looked pretty good this week, I thought. I actually really enjoyed seeing him play. I know he says 1-3, but he's going up against Bjergsen on LeBlanc, and he played it pretty solid enough. I'm not liking Honda this year. I'm really opening that jungle spot up for 100 Thieves. And frankly, I would, if I am 100 Thieves management, I'm blowing this team up at the end of the year. And I'm building this team around Bang and Someday. I think those are 2 import slots that you need. But you got to get some better NA talent. I don't know where. It's hard. It's really hard. I don't know if you just go with your academy or maybe look towards... I don't know, because you have 2 good imports. Like, that's the issue. It's like you can't make a big import. If anything, I would get rid of Someday, but I don't even want to do that because I feel like Someday and Bang on the team, and you got to add the pieces around him. I liked Anda last year, but He's not cutting it this year. I would give him a better shot. I'm already done on who he. I think Hunter Thieves is as well. I think Soligo is their man for the rest of the year, and I'm done on Afremu. I really am. I think they need a new support. Frankly, it's because his shot calling and macro is one of the crucial issues with this team. And I'm sorry for saying it, but it's you can see it every game. You can really see it every single game where they fall, and it's always on the shot calling and macro. Every single game. They have the talent to be good. They're just not. It's like they're not working as a team. Next game we have Clutch Gaming versus FlyQuest. FlyQuest actually played this one. This was more of a blowout than the score. Like if you just look at kills, it doesn't look that big of a blowout. I thought this was more of a blowout than expected. DeMonte was playing pretty solid on the rise, but frankly, just Wild Turtle on the Jinx was just popping off. And late game Jinx, they had Viper on the Vlad, but he wasn't even important. All you had was the Jinx. Let's look at damage to champions. Yeah, exactly. 21k damage to champions. Viper only had 13k on the Vlad. He would have gotten there anyway, and he obviously is much better late game than Karma is. And I don't like the Karma top pick. I know they've said that they want to go with it on Clutch Gaming, that they want to use it to help Piglet and help DeMonte and stuff, like, and have Huni carry through them, kind of, like, help support them, but I don't, and it's abusive on top, I get that, I played against it, it's not fun, but, I don't like it in pro play, because I think it falls off, and you're taking away Huni's ability to carry. I know he's had a very rough 2-3 splits in a row now, but he still has the X factor to carry. I think he's a middle of the pack top laner, but he is a wild card in the sense that he can still carry you games on carries and stuff like that. And I don't think putting him on the Karma is the best choice. Yeah. Oh, Wild Turtle just popped off on the Jinx. Next we have Optic versus Fox, Echo Fox. Echo Fox just looks completely dead. Like they look as tired as I feel right now. That is how Echo Fox looks on the Rift. It's just Crown obliterated everyone. That 9-0-0 performance. You had 3-1-4 for Arrow, but it wasn't much for Arrow. It was all Crown. Apollo had a terrible game. Panda didn't look like he's getting anything done on the Trundle. Solo was doing okay on the Jace, but that was mostly because of Dokla. It was not having a good split at all. But yeah, just all around great performance by Meteos, Crown, Arrow, Big, and even Dokla. He didn't feed enough. That's what you have to do. You have to learn to get carried, kind of like that, and he did. He absolutely learned to get carried in that game. Next game, we had Golden Guardians versus Team Liquid. This game was very entertaining and very close for a long time. I was honestly stunned by the result of this. I was looking at going into the games, I personally not a big fan of Kennen. I like AP Kennen. I can't stand AD Kennen personally. I wasn't a big fan of the Lee Sin into Karthus just because Lee Sin can abuse him early, I get that. But when you're going for late game kicks, you don't really want to kick Karthus, and you don't want to kick. Oh, I guess Karthus was mid lane as well, but still, I don't like it in general because you don't want to kick Karthus, you don't want to kick Vlad because both of them just want to be in the middle of your team. Like that's where they're comfortable. You don't really want. You have to kick Tristana, who has an escape. Like I don't like the Lee Sin pick at all personally by Team Liquid. I like the Ezreal Tahm Kench. Usually that's like undefeatable, and looked a little suspect at the beginning of the game, but at the beginning it was totally fine. We had so there was a kill. Okay, I was gonna say, I'm like, man, they went 6-1. I don't remember them popping off that bad, but yeah, they were 0-1 in the laning phase for the most part. I know Core JJ had a kill here, but that was more sort towards the second tier tower level. Is right here. This is where contract started with First Blood and Core JJ. Ole didn't block. It was a very bad game by Ole. He's had a bad split, to be honest. Ole's one of my favorite players, back from Immortals and stuff. But like, I think the writing's on the wall here. It's not. It's very similar to the Afremu situation, where these two used to be top tier, like number 1, even number 2 supports in the league, and they're both playing at such a low level. I don't know if the game has just advanced past them or not, or they just have a big lack of confidence, or in Afremu's case, I think he's just burnt out. where Ole, I think the game has gone past him. Yeah, but anyway, Golden Guardians was kept keeping this very close up until the 26-minute mark, 27-minute mark. It was a 200 gold lead, or even hell, the 28-minute mark was an 800 gold lead for Team Liquid here. But after that, they got Baron, so it was a little different. It was basically about right here, the 26-minute mark, where this game was back and forth. And I thought, you have Tristana, you have Karthus, you have Vlad. You're not losing this. There's no way you are losing this late game. With you have a Vlad goes in, Karthus goes in. Karthus dies, he ults, he takes half their health. Vlad's ult takes half their health. Tristana just has to do like one auto to everyone in this team fight, and she's going to get resets like crazy, you know? And you have Braum to peel a little bit and have an ult to stun and knock up. You have Jarvan to get in there and put people in the... You get people stuck in the Jarvan ult, and then you... It just seemed like the freest thing in the world to me. You have Karthus and Vlad and a Jarvan ult for your engage, and then you have Tristana with the resets at the end to just like just have to touch people, and you have tons of resets. And they blew it here. They tower dove right over here on this mid lane. They caught double lift out a little bit, and when they expended the Karthus ult and the Vlad ult. But sadly, the thing about Karthus ult, it doesn't go through Tom Kench's Iron Belly. Man just picks Tokor JJ, comes to the rescue, picks up double lift, puts the redemption down, heals double lift, and they completely turn the fight on its head. They kill Froggen. Oh, it's right here. They didn't kill Froggen, but they killed Ole, they killed Deathly, and they killed Contracts. Only Froggen and Hansa remained, and then they took the Baron and killed those two as well. And then after that, what did I say about against Team Liquid against Cloud9? You make one mistake or two mistakes at most, and they are going to suffocate you for the rest of the game. You do not have the opportunity against this team as an NA team. Just the talent level is not there in NA to be able to overcome Team Liquid's dominant team fighting and dominant map control. You have to pop them early. You have to get kills early, which they did, which Golden Guardians absolutely did. 2, 3, 3, 4. It was 4-3, but I mean, you did have Jensen fed, but 4-3 with 2 Ocean Drakes against Ezreal's fantastic. It was against Ezreal and LeBlanc, who like to poke people. LeBlanc is more burst, but she can still do some poke damage as well and get in and out. And you had 2 Ocean Drakes right away by the 12-minute mark, and just sadly it did not work out for Golden Guardians. I was disappointed, but I was okay with the way they played for 27 minutes. Honestly, if they don't take this terrible dive around this mid tower here, and they just play it safe, I think they actually win this game against Liquid. So it's not... They just got to work on their decision making. They really do. And on Team Liquid side, you're 1 game away from clinching at least a bye week and 2 games away from clinching first place. I think that'll be okay, and I think you'll most likely have it by the end of this week probably. So then you can rest up your players for a week if you need to. I don't know if that doesn't really matter too much in NA, but you can try some new styles out in the last week if you really want to see how it goes on stage. FlyQuest versus Fox. Again, Fox just looked completely dead. Again, just as tired as I am. Was Fox's game strategy this game. They were just completely blown out. They got a kill here on the Kindred. But they gave up everything for that kill. 4 kills plus 2 towers from 1 kill on Kindred. I would say that's not a very good trade. And yeah, this was a 15k gold lead at 23 minutes. That's not great. Not great. Jinx on Wild Turtle and Jinx popped off again, and FlyQuest is back this week. I'm very happy to see this. I wrote them off as dead after their loss to CLG because I still didn't believe that CLG is a very good team, and losing 2 games out of 2 games against CLG this year was some big red flags to me. Their other losses were okay against Liquid and Cloud9 and TSM and such, but the 2 losses to the CLGs really put them low for me because I'm like, no one should be losing to this team outside of Echo Fox. I don't even know if 100 Thieves should be losing to CLG personally. But yeah, that was so. I put them lower. I kind of bought into the negative narrative there a bit, and that's my fault. And yeah, they absolutely deserve this win. I did have them winning this game, but I didn't have them winning their previous game, which I probably should have, looking back at it. This game was pretty close game again for 30 minutes, and then 100 Thieves was able, or not 100 Thieves, sorry, TSM was able to take the Baron and take everything from it pretty much. This was like, it was close. This was almost a game that I felt like TSM was going to win almost the whole way out, just because of the Draven never really got ahead of Sven on the Ezreal, and Ezreal outscales him. Broken Blade was popping off on the Vlad, and Doklo was just getting solo killed constantly on the Aurelia, so having the Vlad late game was just going to be a nightmare. You had Bjergsen scaling up on the Corki. There was a lot of scaling on the team, so like even though this game, it was kind of like the Golden Guardians game in the sense, this is how the Golden Guardians game should have gone against Liquid. About 29 minutes, very similar. Instead of forcing a fight here, TSM is able to get Baron by they forced a fight here against and killed Aurelia and Tom Kench, and because of that, they were able to immediately take the Baron because it was a 5v3, and they were able to close out because they knew they had the better scaling, and they with the Baron buff, the Draven's not able to wave clear as well. LeBlanc isn't able to wave clear against Baron buff very well either. Aurelia's pretty okay at it, but it's wasn't enough by that point. And this is what should have happened in the Golden Guardians vs Team Liquid game, but it didn't. And this is TSM is a better team than Optic, so that might. And Golden Guardians is obviously a worse team than Team Liquid, so that's also a factor of it. Next, we had C9 versus 100 Thieves. This game, C9 back on track. For all the people that are worried about C9, I wouldn't be very worried about C9. I think Team Liquid just on another level. I would consider Team Liquid a top 10 team. Probably I'd put them 8th in my top 10 out of all teams in the world right now. And frankly, I'd put them as the best Western team at the moment. I'd put G2 as the 10th best team in the world at the moment. So they're pretty close, I would say. They're still very close to Team Liquid, but I think Team Liquid has a slight advantage because I think G2 gets overconfident and they don't know how to play the late game necessarily. They use their raw talent and their disabilities to just smash their opponents, but when an opponent has equal ability towards them, they kind of seem to struggle, and they kind of seem to struggle to close out games. Where, like I was saying before, with Team Liquid, you make a few mistakes, they're going to close out the game, and they're going to suffocate you with pure map control and pure team fighting. And I think that would be a big negative against in G2's. Big negative towards G2 in that sense if they were to play each other. But we'll probably find out at MSI. I still believe G2 and Liquid will both win NA and LEC. Anyway, C9 destroyed 100 Thieves. 100 Thieves looked god-awful. Aftermoo again had a lot of poor plays. I know Bang got caught out, but if you look at that play, Aftermoo, all he has to do, I saw... This was not from me. This was from High that pointed this out on the analyst desk. I did not see this. He is obviously a professional player, so he's much more experienced and smarter than I am when it comes to this stuff. But when Bang got caught out by Svenskaren's ult, all Aftermoo simply had to do was peel away the Syndra, and Bang would have all that would have been there would have been Svenskaren on Sejuani and Zeyzal on Galio. Wouldn't have been enough to kill Bang. I think that's what Bang was expecting, but because Aftermoo decides to knock Sejuani away, instead of that, Syndra was able to come right in there, ult him, and immediately kill Bang. And that is right around here, I believe. No, it's right here. And because of that, that helped set him up for another tower, and it set up another Baron. This gave him full Baron control for the next few minutes, and then they were eventually able to take a team fight off of that Baron control and win the Baron and eventually win the game here. It was a very poor play by... I mean, it wasn't great positioning by Bang in the first place, but Aftermoo could have done a lot to save him. And as a support, that's kind of your job. Next, we had Clutch Gaming versus CLG. CLG looked terrible in this game. This was all Clutch Gaming. I've been waiting for this for a while. Clutch Game, I think you're really... I knew this. I had CLG winning this game, and I was infuriated the second draft phase started because both Marksy and High had Clutch Gaming, and at the time I'm like, okay, this is about a 50-50 game here. I can probably take it. If I took it, I would be tied with High for first, and I'd be a game ahead or 2 games ahead of Marksy still, and I'd be totally fine. But I wasn't when this draft was going down. I see them put Darshan on Aatrox, automatic loss. I think he's 0-9 in his last 9 attempts on the Aatrox. They give Huni Rumble. Okay, he hasn't played Rumble very well, but and you don't really want to ban Rumble. That's okay. That's fine. It was a losing matchup either way. Put Darshan on the Scion. Scion is not banned here, not picked. Put him on the Scion against Rumble. Let him survive the laning phase. Don't put him on the Aatrox. Terrible decision. Moon on Zac was okay. It wasn't the end of the world. Don't hate the Zac pick, especially in the Jarvan. I don't think it's that bad. Power of Evil on Lissandra, or not Lissandra. Demonte on Lissandra. Power of Evil on Syndra. That's okay. I hate giving Piglet in Vulcan if you have to ban a champion against a Vulcan, you ban the Alistar. He's a fantastic Alistar player. He makes some of the most amazing combos, and Piglet is an ADC who likes to play in the front line. So that's why they've switched him over to Aurelia, who he's currently 3-0 with. I said it last week, I think Piglet's a better Aurelia player than he is an ADC at this point. I think he just overextends and he gets caught out too much, and when you're a bruiser or a melee champ like Aurelia, that doesn't matter as much as, say, you're an Ashe or a Caitlyn or something. It's what I like to call shotgun Caitlyn syndrome, which I've had a few in my games, and I've also been a perpetrator of that, where you use shotgun, your Caitlyn sniper as a shotgun, and you stand this far away from the melee champions. It's not the best idea. I've done it personally, and I've had a lot of teammates do it as well. You don't want to play ADC like that, especially at a professional level. But yeah, Clutch Gaming obliterated CLG this entire game. CLG had a kill here. They traded a kill on a tower for a kill on tower, which was fine at the time, but they were still losing the game by that point, giving up every other objective. And then here they picked up 2 kills, but this was at the cost of Infernal, Baron, and 5 kills. So you really can't count those 2 kills as good. So in reality, they had 1 kill and 1 tower. That was important. Yeah, that was that game. So those were the games. I'll move on now to I just saw Brian message me. Alright. Yeah, he's like, oh, I'm not gonna be on the podcast. I'm like, well, yeah, that's I'm already doing it, so that would make sense. Yeah. Oops, I just opened something. Okay, so our players of the week. Let me pull that up. First off, the top laner of the week was Huni. He had a KDA of 8. He had average assists of 5.5, CSM of 8.1, GPM of 387, damage percentage of 35.4, and an average DPM of 642. This is what I accidentally popped up. It was my Vegas Pro for my editing that I don't do. Jungler of the week was Flacos Santorin. He had a KDA of 13. Average kill or average assist of 9, CSM of 6.3, gold per minute of 403, which is very good for a jungler. Damage percent of 18.3, which is also good for a jungler, and 365 DPM. Mid laner of the week was Bjergsen. He had a KDA of 6.5, a CSM of 9, GPM of 431, damage percentage of 26.7, and a DPM of 531. ADC of the week was Double Lift, and he had a KDA of 28, and he obviously was going against C9 and stuff. And he had CSM of 10.2, GPM of 471, damage percentage of 36% of his team's damage, and 861 DPM. Core JJ was the support of the week, like always, and definitely been the MVP of the entire split, in my opinion. KDA of 13, average assist of 11, and then a vision score of 2.53. And he made some amazing plays on the Tom Kench. All right, I got Brian's picks in as well. So we are going to be... Well, first I'm going to... While I look for the play of the game from the Team Liquid versus Cloud9 game, we'll go over power rankings. Team Liquid versus C9 highlights. Okay, let me pull up Brian's power ranking as well, because he sent them in at the last minute here. TL, C9, TSM, FlyQuest. I don't agree with that one. Golden Guardians, they're still haters. They are still haters, I'm telling you. Optic, CG, CLG. Alright, he has reality there. Echo Fox and 100 Thieves. Echo Fox. Terrible decision here, Brian. Echo Fox is by far... They did nothing to deserve being higher than 100 Thieves here. Absolutely not. The 100 Thieves almost should have beaten TSM. Echo Fox, who couldn't even beat a challenger team at the way they were playing. Sorry, I'm flaming him. This is how we usually talk right before the podcast when he gives me his picks. Yeah. I believe... I'm going off memory because I actually accidentally deleted his stuff. But we will go. Mine was Team Liquid, C9, TSM, all three pretty obvious. I still have Golden Guardians at number 4. I thought they did enough this week with their victory over CLG and their almost victory, what should have been a victory, I should say, against Team Liquid. They really should have beat them. At the beginning of the year, I said Team Liquid was going to go 16-2 with a with losses against C9 and Golden Guardians, I believe. And frankly, the Golden Guardians, they always beat Liquid, man. And they really should have and could have beat them this week. So next, I think I have FlyQuest number 5. They absolutely improved. I had them at number 7, number 8 last week. They absolutely I way undersold them last week. That was my fault. My apologies for that. Optic number 6, I don't think they were as good as this week as FlyQuest was, so I obviously dropped them down one. Clutch Gaming, I put them ahead of CLG because they destroyed CLG, and I think they're a better team than CLG, even though and they're tied in the rankings. And I believe that Clutch has a better shot of making playoffs than even say Optic. I think it's going to be a tight 4-team race for 3 spots. I don't think CLG is going to be in the playoffs. I don't think 100 Thieves or Echo Fox either. I think those 3 teams are dead. They're gone. I think it's going to be a 4-team race for 3 spots, and it'll be interesting to see. And then I have CLG down to 8th. I can't put them against 100 Thieves or Echo Fox yet because they haven't been as bad at that, but I really think 100 Thieves could probably beat CLG at the moment just off pure talent. I think they're both very equal. I think this is about as equal as you can get right here. And Echo Fox, I think, is way worse than all of them. I think Echo Fox is by far the worst team in the league. I don't see them winning another game for the rest of the year. I've been an Echo Fox hater since the beginning, and I've been proven right, I think. I think their lineup has been very weak since the very beginning of this year. Oh, hi, Brian. I didn't see your messages. It's funny doing it live, what I usually do to you when just on Discord. You get my instant reaction. Okay, so is this from 2 days ago? Yes, it is.
So good into Jace way back.
So I am gonna quickly look for this. Okay, here, found it. Nice. It's like I'm professional at my league stuff now. Alright, so let's rewind to here. And this is going to be play of the week. This is Team Liquid versus C9.
Jensen, PvP though here for Licorice on a chase on in, still being slowed down. Jensen got the shield.
This is very good play by Licorice.
What a play! Here comes Stopwatch, here comes Core JJ, and would you believe it? They've got a taste for Licorice. They've all shown up, and down goes the top laner while the turret falls as well. 4v1 before Poppy will die, but the fight might just continue. But Jace are on the back line. This could be a slaughter. Here comes Impact looking for a bit more. The ult used. This keep buying a couple more seconds, but watch out, it's 5v3. They're gonna find yet another kill. Trading it back though. It's a 4-for-1 long.
That's the play. The Sneaky gets out there, spoiler alert. But yeah, the whole play, it's just the tiny things from Team Liquid. They just have everything set. Like, look at this is perfect play by Licorice, I think personally, for him to be able to get this stun off here, to flash over here to get a stun here, knocks Jensen down to like under 5 HP. This perfect stopwatch into Core JJ being there, being able to get the taunt, flash still on Jensen, just let Licorice overextend, and then C9 just tried to overcommit to try and, it's the lost cause thing where, okay, we need to try and get something out of this, but in the end they actually resulted in losing a lot more doing that. And this was like the tipping point of this game. I thought it was very close. It was a 1k, less than 1k difference at this point, and then being able to take all these kills like this really propelled Team Liquid, like we said before, where they're not able to make mistakes against Team Liquid. Okay, so then next up we have, that's the power rankings, and that's our play of the game. Let's go straight into predictions. I haven't actually seen Brian's predictions. I'm gonna bring mine up first, and then I'll bring Brian's over here. So I can't actually see the chat because of Discord. Okay, now I can. I had to adjust it. First game of this week was Optic versus CLG. Good man, Brian. Optic should be able to take this game quite handily. I think Optic is in the playoff hunt. I know CLG is only a game out of the playoffs. I think they're gone. I really think they're gone. I don't think they'll be able to stand up against these teams like Optic, like Golden Guardians, like Clutch Gaming. All these teams I think are better than them, and FlyQuest as well, even though they've beat FlyQuest 2-0. So I don't know what happened there. I think FlyQuest is the better team, but apparently CLG is their kryptonite or something like that. But yeah, Optic will win. Like I said before, I'll get Brock's picks before the end of the. I'll probably show him on the LEC podcast or the LCK podcast whenever he gets a chance to get back. But yeah, Optic will beat CLG to start the week. Next, we have FlyQuest versus 100 Thieves. I have FlyQuest winning this game, and I believe so does Brian. Yes, he does. Very, very simple pick, I think. 100 Thieves looks miserable. They have terrible macro. They have very bad late game shot calling. FlyQuest is like Team Liquid Light. I saw someone post that on Reddit, that they are a good team. They struggle a bit early, and then they beat you late with their team fights, and they beat you with good shot calling, team fights, and all that. But they don't have necessarily the same skill level and individual talent as Team Liquid does. They have all the components, the same type of strategy as Team Liquid, but just not the same talent level. However, that strategy and macro type style is a complete counter to 100 Thieves, who just run around like a chicken with its head cut off for pretty much once a game hits 35 minutes. So that should be a pretty easy win for FlyQuest, I think. Next, we have TSM versus Golden Guardians. Brian picked the wrong pick here, and this is absolutely a Golden Guardians GG. They beat TSM last time. TSM has worried me quite a bit over the last few weeks. They should have really lost that game to 100 Thieves. They were losing that game for the first 45 minutes. And usually games don't even last 45 minutes, so losing a game by 45 minutes and still being able to win is basically because of what I said before of 100 Thieves macro being pretty poor. I think that Golden Guardians, they were able to take care of business against CLG, and they, again, without that one bad team fight over the inner tower in mid lane, they would have beaten Team Liquid. I still fully believe that they would have beaten Team Liquid that game if they didn't take that bad team fight. They had the outscaling, they had the pressure, they had an even gold set with way more with the Vlad, Jarvan, Karthus, and Tristana. You don't lose that game pretty much. I think Team Liquid really drafted themselves in a poor position. I really did believe they were going to lose until that moment. If Golden Guardians plays that fight a little smarter, they beat them. TSM struggled against 100 Thieves, and they blew the game against Cloud9, and they struggled in the game before the Cloud9 game as well, if I remember correctly. They did look good against Optic, though, but it was kind of shaky for the first 20 minutes, but it was the same as the Golden Guardians situation, where it's okay to be shaky at the first 20 minutes when you have a ton of outscaling, which is totally fine. Where I think Golden Guardians has looked much better, and they are actually, what's their record? Since they were 0-4 to start, so since then, though, they are 6-4, which, with 2 losses against Liquid and a loss against Cloud9, you kind of throw those ones out a little bit because they're just much superior to everyone else, and you're looking at 6-1 in my opinion. They're much better. That's why I consider Golden Guardians one of the best non-elite teams in the league, like, because they're 6-1 against the rest of the competition since the first 2 weeks. Next, we have Team Liquid versus Clutch Gaming. This should be a pretty easy one. I like what Clutch Gaming is doing, but Team Liquid with a win will clinch a bye. All they need is 1 win or a TSM loss, and all they need is 1 win and a Cloud9 loss, or 2 wins and 0 Cloud9 losses, or 0 wins and 2 Cloud9 losses. They have 2 differences for the first place to lock up, and they need just 1 win or 1 TSM loss to clinch a bye week in general. So I think they'll take care of business against Clutch Gaming, secure the bye week, see how Cloud9 does, and then they'll just have to win one of their next 3 games to be able to clinch the first place seed, which they will do. I will be stunned if they do not. Like, completely stunned. Cloud9 versus Echo Fox. I told you Echo Fox is completely dead in the water. Cloud9 is one of the great teams in NA still. This is absolutely going to be a blowout. I don't see Echo Fox coming close to winning a single game for the rest of the year. And especially against a team like Cloud9. Next, we have Golden Guardians versus Clutch Gaming. I have Golden Guardians, and so does Brian. I've been on the Golden Guardian hype train. I was on it week 1. I fell off on week 2, and I've been back on it on week 4. Week 4 was when I got back on that hype train. Yes, I thought that Golden Guardians started out very terribly, but since then I like Froggen's been a monster all split. Haunter's been okay. Contracts has been very good in the jungle, I think, and definitely has been good. Ole's been pretty terrible. Ole's definitely been the weakness of Golden Guardians, but because I don't think Vulcan is of strength on Clutch Gaming unless you give him Alistair. That's the key. You give him Alistair, this game is a much tougher game. And you give Piglet Aurelia, it's also a very tough game. If you ban those two out in the first round, I know it's kind of weird looking, but I would absolutely recommend banning those two in the first round. Or if Golden Guardians is on blue side, take Aurelia possibly for Haunter, or yeah, just give it to Haunter in the mid lane and or on the top lane. You don't want Froggen on Aurelia. You want him on Karthus or something like that. But yeah, so just take Aurelia or ban it and ban Alistair for sure. Absolutely ban Alistair, and Vulcan becomes very, very vulnerable and pretty much equal to Olay on a sense. In that sense, you give Haunter against Huni. I think you give him something, either a tank or something like a Vlad that he can sustain himself enough in the lane that he's not gonna be obsolete by the end of early game. Like, or once you get the late game, Haunter's still viable. Even put him on Kennen for this, or AP Kennen, and that's still okay as well with me. Uh, yeah, you'll be fine there. And I think that Froggen will not destroy Demonte, because Demonte's had some pretty good weeks as well, but I think Froggen is better than Demonte, and I think that he will be able to carry the team yet again. And that would that clinch Golden Guardians into the playoffs? That'd be 2 wins. That would be 8-8. That might clinch them into the playoffs if CLG loses hypothetically both games, and Clutch Gaming would lose both games as well because they had Team Liquid. So that would put them at, yeah, that would. They would be clinched into the playoffs at that point. So expect the Golden Guardians clinch this week. Didn't think you'd say that. I'd say that after the first 2 weeks. Next we have TSM versus CLG. What was that Kobe said, Brian, about CLG? They haven't beaten TSM in like 4 years or something like that, or at least they haven't beaten them in like series or like in individual games since we went to best of ones. It's been pretty bad. TSM should be able to clean this one. I've have some concerns about them, but I think this one should be okay for them to win. Don't think they'll have any problem with that. Next, we have 100 Thieves versus Echo Fox. I have 100 Thieves, and so does Brian. I think that 100, like I've said before, even 100 Thieves could beat Echo Fox. That's how bad Echo Fox is. 100 Thieves will be able to beat them before the late game macro causes issues. This will be probably a 30-minute game at most. And just off the pure raw talent that 100 Thieves has, they're not great at any shot calling or teamwork, but they don't need to be against how bad Echo Fox has been. I mean, I've been calling it since nearly the beginning. I think Echo Fox. I think it was like what, week 1 or 2. I put Echo Fox is like the worst team. I was an Echo Fox hater. 8. So I put him at 8, 9, 8. So I never had him technically the worst. I had Golden Guardians after the first week the worst, and CLG is the worst after the first week. But very, very close to that. Yeah, yeah. TSM, going back to CLG, Brian just said in the chat that CLG hasn't won a series in like 1,000 something days against TSM, or any game since the best of one. Next, we have C9 versus Optic. I think C9, the only team that can beat C9, I think, in the league is Team Liquid, and Optic is not Team Liquid. They have striking weaknesses with the jungle's okay with Meteos and Dardoch. I think that's pretty similar to Xmithy. Not at the same level, but very close enough that it's okay. You can pass it. I think Big and Arrow is a big difference to Core JJ and Team or Doublelift though. So I think Crown is actually having a fantastic week, so you can even equal that up with Jensen a bit. Or fantastic year. I think I said week, but yeah. And Dokla on top is nothing like Impact. So this should be a very easy win for Cloud9. Yeah. Oh, I already did, Brian. I did earlier. I absolutely brought it up, and that 100 Thieves at the end of this year need to they need to blow up the roster and just build around Bang in someday. And I liked Solingo. Brian asked how to talk about Afro legit and feeding. He had a very, very bad week. Yeah. Team Liquid versus FlyQuest is the last game of the day. I have Team Liquid winning this, and with this, they will, like I said, FlyQuest is Team Liquid Light. And what's better than Team Liquid Light? The real Team Liquid. This should be an easy win for Team Liquid. FlyQuest is everything that Team Liquid does, just at a lower talent level. They have the same style, slow pace early. They win through team fights, but they're not going to be able to do that when they have another team playing slow. And you can't even say Team Liquid plays slow. They have the fastest win times out of any team in NA now. But Team Liquid just dominates more than FlyQuest dominates, if that makes sense. They play the exact same style. Team Liquid's just more clean and efficient about it, and with more talent. So that has to obviously, in my opinion, be a Team Liquid win. And with that, that will be all of our predictions. So the only difference me and Brian have this week is the Golden Guardians versus TSM. I think that will be a good game. That is absolutely probably the game that you could actually be different. Let's see. Let's do a really quick. Optic versus CLG? Maybe. That might be one of the closer games this week. FlyQuest versus 100 Thieves is going to be a blowout. TSM Golden Guardians, that's going to be close. Team Liquid CLG blowout. C9 Fox blowout. Golden Guardians Clutch probably, that's a closer one. TSM CLG blowout. 100 Thieves Echo Fox, I think that's a blowout. C9 Optic blowout and Team Liquid Fly. I think they're all blowouts this week. This should be a lot of green this week in my opinion. I really don't think there's many close games. Yes, we have one difference, Brian, and it's game number 3. I think there's a lot of bad games this week, sadly, and frankly, I think Golden Guardians and TSM is probably game of the week just on pure closeness of the teams. The only game that would be just as close is Golden Guardians versus Clutch Gaming. Not great games this week. So after me saying that, expect all red, all upsets all week, but I don't think so. We've been doing pretty good. 45 and 25 is a pretty decent record. It's like about 62, 63%. Want to get up to 66 by the end of the year. We'll see if we can get that. All right, though, that should be it for this week. I want to thank you guys for coming to watch. You can follow us on Twitch at twitch.tv/KingLeagueFan. Usually stream around 10 o'clock. Sundays LPL, Mondays NA, Tuesdays LCK, Wednesdays LMS, and Thursdays LEC. We watch us on YouTube at youtube.com/KingLeagueFan. I was saying yesterday, our LCK podcast from last week was our first podcast ever to get 50 views, which is absolutely awesome and shocking to me. Like, we used to get, when we did this last year, we were getting like 2 to 4 views a video, and that's why I kind of stopped posting the videos on YouTube because it wasn't worth my time, I felt. But now that we're actually getting views, it's actually really exciting. I'm a big fan of it. I just realized I spelled predictions wrong in week 9. That's weird. That's embarrassing. Anyway, thank you guys for coming to watch, and I'll see you tomorrow for LCK. And if Brock might not be better by that point, so it might be another solo podcast for me, but we'll find out. Thanks guys for watching, and I'll see you.